That's right. Another NBA DFS slate means you get more of me, and well, you get more of the star of the show here, Ghost at DFS_Ghost. That's what we're doing. We're shooting threes already. We didn't even. That's how we're coming out hot. We're coming out hot, just shooting threes. That's what we're doing.
Yeah,
and,
that's what we're doing.
Little, what? Put them in your pockets
That's
or
mellow.
something. Yeah. Okay.
That's
cool.
mellow.
All right. I'll forget you did that. So this is the NBA DFS pre-lock live stream here at WinDailySports.com. All sponsored by the Sharp app. Go to sharp.link, and you can find all the ways to download the Sharp app, Google Play Store, Apple App Store. Get some picks for tonight. Get some picks for this weekend in college football and the NFL, all over at the Sharp app. Look at that. Derek already giving us injury news. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And when will all the chalk bust finally? When? So, Ghost, how we feeling? 6 games tonight. So how's this one going for you?
I like this one. It's a good one. Very, very good one. Questionable chalky plays again tonight. If Jokic is a must play on Fanduel, only playing one lineup. I mean, pretty close to it. I'm anchoring my build around Paul George and John Morant, but Paul George is pretty crazy priced over on Fanduel. So yeah, you could drop Paul George and go Jokic with Ja. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, let's go into it. Do you want to do what you did last time, or is there not enough chalk to do that? Because you just yesterday you went straight through the chalk.
Yeah, and they were all like 99% rostered yesterday too. So,
were they really?
Yeah, it was just it was so annoying.
Giannis was pretty good though.
That's what, like, that's how I got different. I ended up paying 12.5 for Giannis, and he led the slate in scoring. That's all I needed. I didn't need him to put up 80 to get that little
pretty wide margin, didn't he? Like he crushed.
No, Jimmy Butler was right behind him, but again, Jimmy Butler was like 40% roster in tournaments, and it's just like that. That was the thing, right? So when I was talking about rostership yesterday, we had a good question there when I just went full math nerd on you guys yesterday because I just love math.
Yeah. And we love
like Tyler Hero.
Talk about math.
Tyler Hero was 30% rostered, as was Jimmy Butler. And realistically, you were pumped to see Jimmy Butler do a lot of damage, but you likely played him with Tyler Hero, and it just doesn't work, right? So when I was talking about working that rostership in duos, if you played both Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler, yeah, you had a phenomenal night from Jimmy Buckets, but Tyler Hero couldn't hit a shot. So that's what I'm saying, where you often have to pick one, and sometimes it'll be the right one, sometimes it'll be the wrong one. What matters is the process. And realistically, if you ended up fading one and you chose Tyler Hero or Jimmy Butler, well, that's okay, because it's going to go in your favor some nights just like it won't. So that's what I was talking about duos yesterday, and these highly rostered players. You got to be careful when you're pairing multiple of them together, and I mean like 2, 3, 4 of them together.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Jimmy Butler and Taylor Horton-Tucker. That's it. That's all you needed. Ricky Rubio didn't do all that well for his price.
Adam was not happy with that.
Yeah, right. So let's say, for example, you take Adam's example of Taylor Horton-Tucker. If that was the talk that you faded, well, it didn't work last night, but it might work on another night, right? So it's just Tyler Hero, Christian Wood, these other guys that busted yesterday that were ridiculously high rostered. If you rostered them instead of guys like Jimmy Butler, etc., well, then yeah, it was a bad night. But if you rostered the guys that went off, like the Brunsons, like the Horton Tuckers, like the Jimmy Butlers, and then you faded the other guys like the Tyler Heroes, the Christian Woods, and the Ricky Rubios, it ran really well. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not completely ridiculous to play chalk in your tournament lineups, but you can't play them all, because yesterday it was 2 guys. That's all you needed. It was Horton Tucker and Jimmy Butler, and even Jalen Brunson wasn't even in the optimal lineup. So it just goes to show that you could easily win 6 figures without playing. Even Jalen Brunson went off.
So is, like the question said, Jokic must play on FanDuel, but overall, is Jokic a play for you tonight?
Man, he's really the price tag is getting up there, right?
It's up there.
I said that about Giannis yesterday, and I still ended up playing Giannis at 12.5.
And Andre Drummond's a tough matchup, let me tell you.
So it's just, like with Cork missing like 26 shots every night, he'll be able to grab double-digit boards, and he'll be able to score 30+. Just again, it's not whether Jokic does well, it's more about who I have to pair him with, right? Because when you insert Jokic into your lineup, and I'm 100% playing John Morant tonight, It's just it
100%
ends
playing
up.
John Morant?
I'm 100% playing John
Not
Morant tonight on DK.
99.9,
Yeah,
not 90,
100%.
100.
No, 100%
100%.
playing John Morant tonight. So when you end up looking at what your roster looks like with those two guys, it ends up getting real tight real quick. Like you got to find some value plays, and then when you end up dumpster diving like that, when you have
Real
multiple of
quick.
them, when you end up having multiple of them, it can get spicy. So I don't know if I want to play Jokic tonight. I might opt for a Jean Morant, Paul George, little game stack there in my favorite game environment of the night in Memphis.
Nice. I do like that. A little Paul George will never hurt. That'll never hurt. So, yeah, I like that. Now, where are we going for value plays? Because I want to go games here. It's not 11, it's 6. So I imagine we're going to take a couple of games here that we really like.
Right. So there's going to be a couple individual plays in particular.
Okay.
I'll save the crazy plays for the end there. We'll start with obvious one in Cambridge, Stone Cold minimum 3K on DK tonight with
Nice.
Precious Achua out, as is OG Anunoby. But the matchup could not be any worse. In the worst game environment on the slate, Toronto ranks 29th in the league in pace, behind only the Philadelphia 76ers, because they haven't had Joel Embiid, what seems like for at least 3 to 4 weeks now. So to be able to get a game where you have the slowest paced team, you can't push the pace against Utah. They physically do not allow you to, right? So Toronto doesn't play like that anyways. This is going to be a really slow paced game. So I get the fact that Nick Nurse is going to run a 6 to 7 man rotation into the ground tonight. You're likely going to see some Svi, maybe some Goran Dragic. I doubt it though. Right now, I think the minutes go to Svi off the bench there, but it's I'm not even playing any of those guys right now in my lineup. It ends up being Trent, Barnes, Siakam, Birch, and of course Fred VanVleet. Likely looking at some serious minutes here, but Ken Birch draws a one-on-one matchup against Rudy Gobert. So at the stone cold minimum at 3K, he can't hurt you. But this is what I was saying yesterday about Dwayne Dedmon, and that was another chalk play that busted. He was 40% rostered in tournaments yesterday, and he put up 16 DK. Like, yeah, okay, at 4K, it's not like, oh, well, he only went 4 times the price. Like, I don't even care about any of that stuff. Like, it's not like he really hurt you putting up 16 at 4K, but that's not what you want from your value plays, because then if your stud doesn't go off, the mid-range duels will outscore you every time. So for that to be able to be a feasible strategy where you're pairing, let's say, Ken Birch with a Jean Morant or a Paul George, saying, okay, here's my $14,000 combo. If you don't think Ken Birch gets there, you're better off taking 2 7K guys, because that's when I end up flirting with the mid-range, is that if I think my value play is going to bust, I tend to not go that route, which oftentimes I do end up taking that route because I end up finding the right value plays. But Ken Birch tonight scares me, man. Like at 3K with heavy rostership on a slate like this, drawing a one-on-one matchup against Rudy Gobert, I could 100% seeing Nick Nurse taking Ken Birch off the floor and trying to get Utah to take Rudy Gobert off the court. Right. So that Adam just phrased it beautifully. That's exactly what it was. So he didn't hurt, but it's not like he really helped you get to the top of the leaderboards. Right. So Ken Birch can be the exact same thing tonight. If he puts up 15 DK, you're like, oh, okay, he doesn't have a snowflake. He did fine. Like, no, he didn't, because there's going to be other mid-range duels that will outscore them. So you have to roster him in cash 100%. But for tournaments, I'm going elsewhere with a 3K punt play, and it is real spicy. Like, we're talking 1% rostered. I'm taking a huge gamble with this one tonight. Ricky Bobby, first or last, and all I need is for him to outscore Ken Birch. I don't care if he puts up 12 DK, 13. As long as he outscores Ken Birch, that's all I need, because my lineup's likely going to be pretty solid all around there. It's just I need that one guy to outscore Ken Birch, which I know everyone's going to roster tonight. So
you're not going to.
I'll save that one for the end. Yeah, I'll save that one for the
end.
Fair. Another popular value play tonight is going to be Patrick Beverley. I get it. At 4,200, he's playing a ton of minutes for Minnesota, grabbing some boards. Yesterday, he actually took a surprising amount of shots. He actually took the same amount of shots as Karl Anthony Towns, which infuriated me.
That's gross. Shouldn't a coach be fired for that?
I don't get it. Like Anthony Edwards is actually like it's a family show, so I'm not gonna say the way I truly feel about
I
Anthony
guess
Edwards,
Brian has a guess on who it is.
but like, oh my gosh, I despise Anthony Edwards. Oh my gosh, the worst attitude I've ever seen. Guy's been in the league for like 3 to 5 business days and thinks he could walk in and dominate the league, bro. You have like 20 wins in 2 combined seasons. What are you doing? Man's taking 26 shots a night. There was a segment, not last night, the game before that, where he was playing ISO on, I forget who he was one-on-one, but it's irrelevant. He was playing ISO on the outside, and Karl Anthony Towns actually started walking back on defense because he knew he was going to break the shot and not feed him the ball. And that's exactly what happened. It's like if he wants to play hero ball, he's a good DFS play because you need a guy taking 25 shots, but it's just the Timberwolves are going absolutely nowhere with the way that this offense runs. And then coming back to Patrick Beverley as one of the main value plays, he's not going to take a ton of shots because that's not who he is throughout his entire career, let alone with Anthony Edwards playing hero ball. But he gets involved, a couple assists, a couple of rebounds, and he's good for steals and blocks, which definitely contributes to his score. But again, you look at yesterday, grabbing 8 points purely off of blocks and steals. He still ends up putting up 30, which is more than enough at a 4.2 price tag. But again, it's a matchup against DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray doesn't turn over the ball. Like that's actually pretty big. We'll get to that then. Like where are these defensive stats coming from? And then on the flip side, where is the offensive talent for him to beat DeJounte Murray? Right. So again, is he going to hurt you at 4.2? Absolutely not. But I could see a very clean Dwayne Dedman-esque stat line here tonight from Patrick Beverley where he puts up 20 to 22, which it won't hurt you. You'll be fine. And you absolutely have to roster him in cash. But for tournaments, again, man, if he puts up 20 to 25, it's not enough. It's not getting it done. So that's another guy that I'm likely going to be underweight compared to the field because I just don't see it going up one-on-one against DeJounte Murray all night long. And those are pretty much the two players that everyone's starting with. It's Patrick Beverley and Khem Birch. And we'll talk about that Miami game before I get into my spicy value plays. I gave 2 chalk plays. I'll give 2 spicy ones. So with Tyler Hero out tonight, Kyle Lowry's back. Had a best day yesterday. I'm not playing Lowry. And for me, I was really hoping Tyler Hero would play because I wanted people to play Jimmy Butler chasing yesterday's game, but now it changes things a little bit. So I will say this about Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. They are both good plays, right? It's Captain Obvious. They're both very good plays. I don't need to explain anything to that. But when you're paying 9.5 for Jimmy Butler, you better hope he puts up 55 plus. And the only way he does that, because he's not triple doubling again tonight, I'll tell you that much. The only way he does that is by burning Washington in transition. That is, I don't want to say the only way you could score on Washington right now, but this is the 3rd best defense in the entire league right now. Gone are the days where Washington plays, they still play at a ridiculous pace, but gone are the days where they have Russell Westbrook and the nut worst defense. Like those days are long gone. Like now they actually know how to play D and they actually have a solid team system in place. So keep in mind that this is 2 very defensive-minded teams. Miami will absolutely burn you out when you're on the offensive side of the ball. They will make sure that you are maxing out every single shot clock. They're tough on the glass. Like it's not exactly a good game environment for this type of play. I don't mind a Butler or a Bam one-off, especially Bam on the inside going up against Daniel Gafford and or Montrezl Harrell, considering Gafford was actually a late pop-up on the injury report there. So if I'm playing one, it's Bam Adebayo. It's not going to be Jimmy Butler. I still like Jimmy Butler, but again, at 9.5, I just don't know if I could get there with Paul George and Ja Morant. If you go Butler over Ja, I'm okay with that too, and you anchor your lineup around Ja and Jimmy Butler, I'm okay with that. Just again, like be aware that yesterday he went nuts. I get it. He dropped a 30-point triple-double. It's a completely different game environment, and I get that Hero's out tonight. But again, for him to do that yesterday, he had to drop a 30-point triple-double and the game had to stay close. Like, I don't really see that right now in this type of game script against Washington. I see a low-scoring affair, and if it does creep up into a high-scoring where it ends up hitting a total of 215 to 220, it's going to be the ball's going to be distributed fairly evenly. Keep in mind that Tyler Hero yesterday didn't hit a shot in seemingly the first half. So it's something to keep in mind.
So it sounded like there's not, like, obviously Butler and Adebayo are fine plays. Obviously, you did a good job of explaining why Butler you wouldn't. And you said no Kyle Lowry. So with Tyler Hero out, that basically just it seems like it didn't go the way you wanted with how this, because you wanted people to flock towards Jimmy Butler again.
Yeah, I wanted all three of Hero, Bam, and Butler to play, and I still wanted people to play Jimmy Butler, because if you get a 40 to 45 from Jimmy Butler tonight, that's fine. Go ahead and take your 40 to 45 tonight from Jimmy Butler. I'm gonna hope that Paul George puts up 60. Right. So I granted it's a $1,500 price difference, but again, when you're paying that much for somebody, like, you need him to be your, like, when you end up looking at your lineup, and I've said this before, you end up looking at your lineup and you're like, okay, how do I win a tournament with this? If you're playing Jimmy Butler tonight, you need that 60-point performance. Like that, you need that from any stud that you click on to put into your lineup. You play Jokic, you say the same thing. I need 70 plus from Jokic tonight. I need him to go nuts. Same thing with Ja. Same thing with DeJounte Murray. Same thing with Jimmy Butler, right? So it's like, you can't say, oh, I hope this guy has an above average game where he's 7K, and I hope he ends up hitting a double-double, like a Kyle Kuzma situation when Bradley Beal was out a couple days ago, right? Kyle Kuzma ended up putting up 38 DK at 6K. That's an above average game for Kyle Kuzma. That's exactly what you need for him to be in an optimal lineup. You don't need him to put up 50. The guy's $6,000. He's not going to put up 50. So, like, it's all about that mentality for me, where I end up rostering Jimmy Butler tonight. And I would essentially want him to be neck and neck with Paul George and hope that my $1,500 is spent wisely elsewhere. I'm not saying that he can't do it. I will have one lineup out of three in my 3-max with Jimmy Butler, but it's far from an ideal situation to enter my main lineup over Paul George.
Are we getting any value from Philly tonight or Cleveland? Are we getting any value plays there, or is that a big fat no?
We'll talk about that Cleveland Golden State game, because this one is one of my spicy plays in this game. So I guess we'll go to that. So just the way that I'm approaching this game,
habanero spicy? Like, how spicy are we talking right now?
Like, I don't even know. I don't even know if there's anything. Like, it's really it's dangerous. Yeah,
one chip challenge spicy.
Yeah. Like half chip challenge spicy. Like it ends up being it's really risky.
Half chip.
It is really risky.
Okay, I like risk.
But I will lay out the game script beforehand before I end up talking about this guy, because when I mention your name, if he ends up saying like, oh my God, why would you play someone like that? Like, without the context, it doesn't really make sense. So right now you have Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Colin Sexton all out for Cleveland. They have nobody in the front court. They got Ricky Rubio playing his second game in as many nights, playing ridiculous minutes. They just beat Brooklyn by 25. Like, I don't see how Golden State, I'm exaggerating for effect now. Don't take this seriously. And someone's going to record this and say, oh, they didn't win by 45. Like, I'm saying this, exaggerating for effect. I don't, like, Golden State can legitimately win this game by 45. Like, who's guarding Steph, first of all? Absolutely
Rubio.
No one.
Yeah, Rubio.
So no one.
No.
And then it's like, on the flip side, what are you going to do? You're going to hope that Ricky Rubio and Garland played garbage time to get to their value? Those are two guys that are completely out of my player pool, two of the most highest rostered players on this slate. I don't get it. No, it's not taco time. It's Thursday, bro. Tacos was 2 days ago. It's Thursday. But it's just... Like, it's always taco time. Someone needs, like, everyone that's in love with Ricky Rubio and Darius Garland tonight, someone needs to sell me on this. And I don't think I can be convinced, because I don't see how they get there against the league's best defense, setting NBA records since 1985 with how good their defense has been. They just stuffed James Harden and Kevin Durant. You think they can't stuff Ricky Rubio? They held off James Harden and Kevin Durant together on the same team. Not two different nights, on the same team. And people are like, yes, let's play Ricky Rubio against the league's best defense. Like, I don't get it. That's the spot I am completely avoiding. If you're playing Cleveland tonight, you better have a pair of gloves on, because you got to get dirty with it. It's got to be guys that are, like, very close to the minimum. Obviously not playing Cedi Osman at 6.1, but it's got to be guys like man, it makes me nauseous saying names like this. Like, obviously, I'm not playing any of these guys, but it's got to be like, I don't even want to say Ed Davis. It's gonna make me throw up. But like maybe Dean Wade, like if he gets hot from deep, meaning like he makes like 3 to 4 3-pointers, like that's where it's like, okay, you end up getting a guy like that plays 38 minutes, and you're like, please make 4 shots. You know, like that's what you got to hope for Dean Wade, right? It's like I just don't get this whole Cleveland situation tonight. There's so much love for Garland and Rubio against the league's best defense. It's gonna be a hard no from me, Doug. I'm sorry, I'm out on that one. And my spicy value play at the stone cold minimum, same price as Kem Birch. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm putting this out there. It is Kuminga. So with Andre Iguodala out, this can be a showcase game for Kuminga. And he's really gotten his legs under him in the past 3. And he got some notable minutes yesterday against Brooklyn. Now being on the second half of that back-to-back, a much bigger opponent, this could end up being the game where Jonathan Kuminga ends up taking on more of an offensive role with no Andre Iguodala. Wow. And am I saying he's going to play 30 minutes? Absolutely not. He is not playing 30 minutes in this game. What I'm saying is that stretch where Steph comes off the court, it allows Kerr to end up doing that for a much longer period of time because he's playing the Cavs. And the one person he has to stop is Ricky Rubio. Like he could, and I'm sorry, the Warriors bench mob right now is lethal. All of them played 20 minutes against Brooklyn. Again, I'm gonna keep referring to that. If they could play 20 minutes against Brooklyn and win by 25, if you think Steph Curry is playing 40 minutes tonight, I'm sorry, but you're crazy. Like if Steph needs to play 40 minutes to win this game, there is something seriously ill with this roster. They just beat Brooklyn by 25, and all of these bench guys played 20 minutes. Now they're going up against a Cleveland team where if they're up by 30 going into the fourth quarter, that's 12 minutes of Jonathan Kuminga. And oh man, a fantasy point per minute player, 7th overall pick in this draft. He has so much potential on both sides of the court that at under 1% rostered, I am taking a chance that Jonathan Kuminga outscores Kem Birch. I don't care about green check marks. You guys know that. For all I know, Jonathan Kuminga, Steve Kerr decides, I'm not even going to play him tonight. We don't know. It's Jonathan Kuminga. He's that big of an X factor. So I need people to understand the risk that you are taking. Kem Birch will play 20 minutes tonight. If that's what you want your safety net, play Kem Birch, as will 40% of the rest of the field. But what I'm saying is that if Kuminga gets out there and this game is blown out by 30, number one, someone's got to pick up those minutes for Andre Iguodala, and Otto Porter is like 50 years old. Damian Lee is just fresh off an injury. He's young, but he's fresh off an injury. Like, they need guys like this to say, okay, play more minutes. Bielitsa they need him for the playoffs. They don't need him to beat Cleveland in the month of February. All these guys are for playoffs. That's exactly why Andre Iguodala is not playing tonight, right? So Jonathan Kuminga at 3K is one of 2 spicy plays that I have tonight, and I really like it. I really like Jonathan Kuminga tonight.
So guess what we're going to do? We're going to save the other spicy play for projection model. Is it popping in the projection model or optimizer?
Yeah, I believe he's top 10.
Ooh, so guess what? He's
in my favorite game of the night. I'll say that. He's in my favorite game of the night.
Guess what I'm going to direct the people to? The optimizer,
Discord.
projection model, Discord, all of that, windailysports.com. We gave you the half of the ghost pepper or the one chip challenge, and the other half is in the projection model. So go check it out in the Discord. windailysports.com. Sign up right now for a gold membership. All of that will be available to you. Discord chat open to everybody, and you can go talk with our DFS experts, including my man Ghost right here. Ghost will be in the Discord and setting lineups, so he'll be in and out, but he'll be there, willing to help you out. But coming up next here, windailysports.com, what we have is some NFL Showdown. So we are going to be doing that coming up next here on WinDailySports.